You've probably heard all of those cringe quotes like, conquer the morning and you'll conquer the day. The way you start your morning determines how well you'll end your day. The morning is where the magic happens. Own the morning, own the day. And while these quotes may be a little cringe, they're absolutely right. And I promise you that if you have the attention span to watch this video to the end, I will help you structure your morning routine in a way that guarantees success. I'm not gonna waste your time in this video. The first habit every rich guy does is waking up early. Some of my OG fans may remember that back in like February, I started to upload videos every single day for a few weeks actually. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that those were probably one of the most enjoyable weeks of my life. I was waking up early at like 4 or 5 a.m. every single day, working super hard on a video with literally no one distracting me, doing all of the good habits like meditation, journaling, cold showers, and going to the gym. I had maybe like 1 hour of screen time a day. My diet was super clean and I would go to bed at like 7 p.m. And if I told this to a lot of the people in our generation, they would probably think I'm weird for enjoying something like that, right? But you can probably understand. Maybe if you went through a period of like this yourself, you probably know that living like this is very enjoyable. Sure, it's not as pleasurable, but you can be proud of yourself, which is a much better feeling than pleasure. And the thing I like the most about this period is the amount of work I was able to get done, because I was literally able to upload a video every single day. And the reason for that is because I was waking up super early in the morning. Some people might say, well, sure, you woke up early, but you still had the same amount of time for work. So it doesn't really matter, does it? Well, not really, because while you do have the same amount of time to work, the quality of the work you put out is very different at 5 a.m. than at like 10 a.m. Because at 5 a.m. no one is really awake, so no one is gonna try to message you, none of your family members will randomly barge into your room, you're just in this peaceful mode and all you have in your mind is the task at hand. While at 10 a.m, sure, you can put your phone on do not disturb, sure you can tell your family not to come into your room, but it's simply not the same, because the work you produce early in the morning is just way higher quality. If you don't believe me, just try this once, and I promise you that you will see a massive difference. Recently, I've not been as consistent with this habit either, and when I look back at those days when I used to wake up early, I can't help but want to get back into it. Now, one bonus habit I also want to share with you when you start waking up early is to eat the frog. This is actually a concept developed by the legendary entrepreneur Brian Tracy. A lot of people overcomplicate this, but I'll explain it in the easiest way possible, because this is just how I understand it. If you had to eat an alive frog with your dinner, so try to imagine a really disgusting looking frog, and then some delicious dinner, so maybe some ribeye steak with mashed potatoes or something like that. You have to eat both of them, and the question is, what will you eat first? And your answer to that question will tell me everything I need to know to figure out whether or not you'll be successful. This is a very interesting question, so I want you to pause this video and go write in the comments what you've picked. You see, the successful person is very good at delaying gratification, so he would obviously pick the frog first so that he can enjoy his meal later. And you basically have to do the exact same thing with your work. Pick the hardest possible task, which at the same time has the most value, and do that first thing in the morning, so you don't have to think about it later in the day. And also, you just did the most important task of your work while you have the most brain power in the most productive time of your day. So if you want to get the most out of your work day, wake up early and do the hardest possible task first. Habit number 2, meditation. There is a book by this very famous entrepreneur called Tim Ferriss who wrote the book 4 Hour Workweek, which is one of the most popular self-improvement books to this day. And in this book, he basically mentions how he interviewed a bunch of super rich guys, world-class athletes, and celebrities. And he figured out that at least 80% of them did some form of daily meditation. Now when you hear this, you better start thinking like, fuck, if 80% of the most successful people in the world meditate daily, I better start taking this seriously. And so how do you meditate? And what even is meditation? Again, I'm no scientist, I'm no expert, so I'll explain this simply in a way that I understand it. Meditation is basically a way to train your attention span. Just like you do bicep curls at the gym, you do meditation to train your brain to focus better and be more present. And the best way to meditate by far is basically you just sit down for a few minutes a day. I would say it's the best in the morning because it's easier to develop it as a habit that way, but you can probably do it whenever you want. And you basically sit down and you focus on a certain sensation. Very often it's the breath breath, but you can also focus on things like sound, smell, or touch. You focus all of your attention on this one sensation, and whenever you get a thought, you acknowledge it and you move on, focusing back on the sensation. A lot of people think that it's a bad thing when you get a thought while meditating, but it's actually not. You're supposed to get thoughts, because when you lose your focus and then come back to the sensation you are focusing on, that's like one rep at the gym, because that way you're basically training your brain to let go of distracting thoughts, and that's the whole point of meditation. So getting thoughts is not a bad thing. Now, as an actionable step, I want you to try meditation, and I don't want you to cope. Whatever excuse you have in your mind right now, just ignore it, and let's do a 1 minute of meditation together. So close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Now, without making an effort to breathe in any particular way, focus all of your attention on the pattern of your breath. Make sure you focus on the part of your body where you feel your breath the most. Maybe it's your nose, or maybe it's the rise and fall of your belly. Just focus on this small part of your body. And whenever you notice that you get a thought, just acknowledge it and move on, focusing on the breath. Okay, you can open your eyes. Now, I would not recommend meditating by yourself, especially when you're just starting out. That's why I'm gonna recommend you an app called Medito. It's completely free, it's ran by volunteers. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. It's just an app I got recommended by the YouTuber Hamza a few years ago, and I've used it ever since. So download Medito and just make sure that you meditate for a few minutes every morning. And the third habit every rich guy does is not using their phone in the morning. Whenever you grab your phone, especially in the morning, you will lose some of your mental energy. You lose some of your brain power, which could have been used productively in your work or even stuff like exercise. And whenever you mindlessly pick up your phone, you're stealing that away from yourself. Most people literally wake up and spend a solid 30 minutes on their phone, not even realizing how much their productivity is suffering because of it. Like, you literally wake up and immediately do a bad habit. Like, please just get up first, bro. Your phone is really sapping your productivity, especially in the morning. Later in the day, when you're already kind of fatigued from work, sure, it's not as bad. But in the morning, when you have a specific time dedicated to working, looking at your phone or even just having it near you is a big mistake, because sometimes you don't even have to look at it for it to sap your mental energy. Sometimes even a simple notification can destroy your focus, because you hear a notification while working, and while you may try to ignore it, you can't help but get thoughts like, is it my friend sending me reels? Is it the girl I've been talking to? Is it my parents? Am I in trouble? And suddenly you're not even focusing on the work and you're just mindless. And very often it can be this simple notification that ends up making you pick up your phone, which saps your mental energy once again. So make sure you keep your phone on silent and as far away from you as possible, especially when you're working. Alright bro, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new from this video. Make sure you share it with a friend who needs to hear it. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel. We're actually at almost 10,000 subscribers. So make sure you're subscribed, because at 10,000 I'm gonna be doing a special giveaway to my subscribers. And you don't want to miss out. Make sure you also go join my Discord server, and bye.